now we have to put this on pause because we have to recast this role, which we didn't think we'd have to do. So her story makes sense for a pause, but it also makes sense because they didn't know what to do with her. I don't see Lisa Rinna turning down. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't get booed and give the middle finger to the audience and say, I don't mind. This is my job. I did my job. I'll always do my job. And also say it got too toxic. Like, I believe her. I do think this audience has gotten too toxic and it's gone. So I get it, but I just think that's a easy no. I really believe she was fired. So I agree with her. I think this audience has gone crazy and we take this really serious and it gets really dark. But which is it, girl? Does it not bother you and you're Lisa fucking Rinna and nothing bothers you? Or did it bother you and you quit? I still think no matter what, I don't even care what else she wants to say. I don't believe anyone quits. I'm with Bethany on this, that like Bethany left, Lisa Vanderpump left. I mean, she got fired for not going to the reunion, but she knew she was going to get fired. I think Mary Cosby left on her own. You don't go to, like, if you don't go to the reunion, you know you're going to get fired, but then you don't care. I count that as like leaving on your own. Yeah, I think there's like 5 people, which is what Bethany said on Rewives. I did not listen to Rewives. Someone told me this. And I said, did she include Lori Peterson from the OC? They're like, she did. I'm like, how does she even know who Lori Peterson was? So no, I believe Rinna got fired. I really think she would have stayed there for the next 10 years otherwise. I do.
Did Alex McCord get fired or did they
she got fired.
Okay. Well, you know, what other things were interesting about the article? It you know, I mean, she really, the guy asks her, Mel asks her, well, who's the villain? You know, who can step into your shoes? Who can be the villain? Because as much as the audience says, oh, you know, oh, we hate Rinna or whatever, you know, there's nobody else. You have to have a villain. And it's why these other franchises, which we'll talk about later, because supposedly another one is going on pause, aren't working, right? There's really not that clear villain. This was fascinating. You know, she speaks of her friend Kyle, because she talks about who she's still friendly with. Denise, no. Vanderpump, no.
But she seems somewhat like, they all hate Vanderpump for whatever reason. She seemed like good riddance to Vanderpump, but she seemed to be somewhat remorseful about Denise. That's the take I got. It doesn't speak to her.
Right. Says she hasn't spoken to Kim in a long time, but the last time they saw each other, they were good. She and Kyle are legit friends. You know, and she basically says Kyle, you know, she takes a dig at a lot of the women in saying, and I get this, I wrestle with this in my own life. They want to be liked. So they won't really be who they truly are. And she really challenges Garcelle and Sutton. She says Garcelle and Sutton really are bitches, but which, I mean, I'm sure, right? We all could be, but they also want to be liked so much. They really won't let go of the facade. She says the same thing about Kyle. She says there's no way Kyle could be the villain.
She said, like, you know, I urge Garcelle and Sutton to just let their real self show, implying that they're really both evil. She did say, I think it would be great and the audience would just go insane if Kyle was now the victim, but she's like, it's not happening. She does not have it in her. She wants to be liked. And then that brought us to Dorit, which I agree with her. I think if Kyle came back as uber villain, the audience would go crazy. It would be like, oh my God, it would be the best Kyle ever, but it's not going to happen. She wants to be like, she doesn't need to do it. She doesn't like, Kyle is almost better at the game than Rinna because it's like on that reality show, like where it's literally on the reality show. It's like you're in the final of Survivor or you're in the final of Big Brother. And the 2 final contestants are Kyle Richards and Lisa Rinna. We are sitting in front of a jury. Who deserves the money? Rinna is going to stand up and say, clearly I deserve the money. Look what I did. I got rid of you. I got rid of you. I got rid of all of you. You all hate me. I played this game. I played it. I deserve the money. What the hell did Kyle do? She coasted through the whole fucking thing. I got rid of all of you. I got rid of Rinna. I got rid of Vanderpump. I got rid of Yolanda. I got rid of Denise, and I have blood on my hands, and I own it. No pun intended. Give me the money. And that is, people would be like, yeah, what the fuck did Kyle do? And then Kyle would stand up and say, The joke's on all of you, because let me tell you, I was behind getting rid of Lisa Vanderpump. Lisa Rinna took that bullet, and I was there with my hands clean. Denise Richards, I didn't want her on this damn show. Rinna took the bullet on that, and here's how I started that. Yolanda, bye, bitch. I wanted her gone, and I set this in motion. And so Kyle, and then by the time Kyle was done, she'd be like, and all of you kind of like me, don't you? So really, I'm better at this. And then you would be like, holy shit, that's what happens at the end of Big Brother or Survivor. You're like, wow, thought I was going to vote for Rinna, because I mean, she clearly played this game while this other one's just like filing her nails. But like, wow, Kyle really is doing all this behind the scenes, and we all do like her. So, right. And then you kind of, and then the Kyle character wins a lot in these shows now, because you're like, you really did this in a way that you are so devious, but we all do like you. So, yeah, Kyle's not going to do it because she wants to be liked. And then she pointed to Dorit and Crystal. And I mean, if Dorit were smart, I think she has it in her. Oh, and she also said, which I agree with, she's like, Erika, please. Erika don't need to do nothing. The fact that she exists and she's Erika Jane, like, that's enough for the show. And I agree. I agree.
With that. I mean, Erika is just a larger than life character, and
look what's going on.
Roll her eyes, and yeah, I mean, it's really good.
She's kind of like, Erika takes it on the chin in the real world in a way that none of us have, really. And so she doesn't need to be the villain. I do agree with that. I think Dorit and Crystal, I mean, Dorit, if she were smart, would just come back and be a total villain. And there's cracks between like her and Erika. Crystal, I mean, once again, Kim and I fight about this whole time. I said in the second week, Crystal's not going anywhere. Kim is like, you're crazy. She's boring. Crystal's definitely fired. Once again, I was right. Looks like Crystal is staying.
It's the rumor, yeah.
And they're bringing a friend of hers on. So I think, look, I also think they said to Crystal, like, listen, girl, you better find someone to come on here. And because I do agree. I do think this 14 friends and all of that. And she kind of like said, oh, I don't want to be on that show, and talked them all out of it, and then went on herself. I think that's probably, there's some truth to that. I think Crystal has a lot of deviousness there. I think they just said to Crystal, like, whether you want your friends on the damn show or not, girl, either you're going or you're finding someone to bring on. That I really think something like that. So I think hopefully Crystal will show. I think Crystal or Dorit should come back and just have a 3. That would be the best career advice to them.
Well, by the way, Rinna doesn't feel, at least from that article, it doesn't sound like Rinna thinks that Crystal has it in her. Rinna just said she's too young. She hasn't been hardened enough by life. She's not willing to go all in. She's not willing to really, because again, going back to, they all want to be liked. I completely can understand that. I mean,